Breath of the Wild is a vast game with many different places and things to do. One thing that keeps players entertained is the minigames scattered across Hyrule. This video will explain the best strategy for all the minigames and their prizes. At the top of Ridgeland Tower, a man called Branley will invite you to take part in a contest requiring 20 rupees to play. The goal is to glide as far away as possible from the tower. To get the highest prize of a silver rupee, 100 rupees, you must pass the 800 meter mark. There are a few ways to achieve this. To achieve this without glitches, make sure you have at least 2.5 circles of the stamina wheels. You could also use elixirs or potions like these to boost your maximum stamina. Start off by using Rivali's Scale and follow this path to reach the goal. Using glitches, you could Wind Bomb, BLSS, or Moon Jump to reach 800 meters. Overall, it takes about 2 minutes, including the time taken for dialogue, if you do it normally, and with glitches, it takes this amount of time. And the net profit is 80 rupees. There are far faster ways to get rupees, so I only recommend doing this for fun. At the south of Tanagar Canyon, by Tabantha Stable, a Goron called Modar is running a game very similar to golf, except with giant balls. The goal is to get the ball in the goal with as few strikes as possible using stasis. There are some iron sledgehammers near him, which you should use. First, hit the ball 7 times with the sledgehammer from the start, then repeat this again to get closer to the flag. For the final shot, hitting it 4 or 5 times should do, scoring you a silver rupee. If it takes 3 or 4 strikes to score, you'll get 50 rupees. Overall, it's a fun game and roughly lasts 2 minutes if done fast. The net profit is 80 rupees as it costs 20 rupees to play. Again, there are faster ways to get money in this game. This minigame is only available after the Perfect Drink Shrine quest. During the day, head north of Gerudo Town to the Ice House. Speak to Anchi inside to start the challenge. The entry cost is 50 rupees. Pick up the ice and make your way to the other side of the ruins, while avoiding the enemies. Try to avoid sunlight as the ice will melt faster. Once you have crossed the ruins, drop the ice cube in front of Ferosa at the south end in under 2 minutes to be rewarded with the gold rupee, which is 300 rupees. I recommend getting the sand boots to get faster, as well as eating movement boosting foods and clearing the enemies before attempting the challenge. This is quite an efficient way to collect money, while also being simple. Overall, the net profit is 250 rupees. Between Hateno Village and the Ancient Tech Lab, there's a man called Dance inviting you to take part in a hunting challenge where the goal is to eliminate as many deer as possible in a minute. Each kill will increase the amount of rupees you get. Use bows which are easy to aim, as well as stocking up on arrows and bomb arrows. If you use multi-shot bows combined with bomb arrows, the kill count will dramatically increase. You could also go into bullet time, which puts the timer to a crawl and lets you target many deer without them moving. When I killed 10 deer, I got 50 rupees, which is not very lucrative, so I do not recommend this game at all. However, there's no entry fee. This minigame is only available after defeating Divine Beast Farm Meadow. Once Teba recovers from his wounds, he and his son are at the flight range. Speak to Tulin to start the minigame. The challenge is to hit as many targets as possible in a very short time. Hitting all 20 targets will reward you with a gold rupee, 300 rupees. Try to use bows with fast fire rate and with extended range like the Falcon bow. Also make sure to stay in bullet time so you still have time to shoot all 20 targets. This minigame is completely free as well, being one of the most profitable for casual players, getting 300 rupees in 1 minute real time. Speak to Conba at the Footrace check-in, just north of Tavanta Stable. You can find it by looking for the plume of smoke from Conba's campfire. The goal is to reach the finish line at the top of the mountain before Cova. Beating him is fairly easy, as you can take shortcuts while he stays on the main path, eating movement speed bonus foods or use wind bobs or any other technique you feel might work. At the end, if you take a right and use the updraft, you are certain to win. If you have the Zora armor, you could also swim up the waterfall. The best reward you can get is a silver rupee, but normally you'd get 50 rupees, so it's not worth the time to do this for money. However, it is very fun. Overall, the net profit would be either 30 rupees or 80 rupees. The gambling minigame house is in the northeast corner of Lurinen village. Speak to Cloyd inside to start. You can place a stake of up to 100 rupees, which lets you pick from one of 3 chests. The more you bet, the more expensive the reward is. There's only one correct chest. However, statistically speaking, this game is highly unlikely to be profitable, especially due to how the maximum reward is 300 rupees after a 100 rupee stake, so you can only have a 200 rupee profit maximum. However, if you have enough money and just want to experience everything in the game, it is something to consider. Head to the Mountain Archery Cap while on a horse, south of Lake Tower and west of Menowat River and Highland Stable. Talk to Ginny and he will ask you if you want to take part in a drill. He will sell arrows if needed, and the goal is to ride the horse across the course while simultaneously shooting arrows to pop balloons. It costs 20 rupees to take part. The actual path is not difficult to steer, but the multitasking can be quite difficult. If you succeed, you receive the knight's bridle and the knight's saddle for your horse. You should try to use a multi-shot bow or a bow with a faster fire rate. Horses will also stay on the path if not touched with the controller. Speak to Blind while on a horse at the Highland Stable to start the challenge. Having a horse with a lot of speed and spurs will make this challenge easier. When you head towards an obstacle, always aim for the centre and make sure your horse is aligned, otherwise the horse will resist and you have to retry the jump. Also, switch to the maximum gallop speed on the straight lines, but remain at a canter for any sharp turns or obstacles, and remember to look ahead to see the angles for the jumps. The reward for the challenge is the extravagant bridge and extravagant saddle, by finishing the course in under 1 minute and 30 seconds and 1 minute and 15 seconds respectively. However, making any mistakes will make you waste a lot of time and you will have to restart. This minigame is only available once you have completed the Korgu Shide Shrine, which is found on Eventide Island after its completion. Speak to Mimo outside the shrine's entrance to begin. This minigame requires you to pass through several rings while gliding. The rings tend to be laid out in courses, so it's easy to follow. There are also updrafts scattered around to boost you upwards. The most important requirement is to have a fully maxed out stamina, as touching the ground ends the challenge. I recommend start the run by going to the course on the right, which will let you easily switch to the second course due to the height boost. Clearing over 40 rings will reward you with a silver rupee, while the entry fee is 20 rupees, leading to a profit of 80 rupees, while taking about 2 to 3 minutes to complete. This minigame is only available once you have completed the Robbie's research side quest. Speak to Ava at the East Akala stable and she will ask you to light the lantern next to her with a blue flame within 3 minutes. To complete this easily and fast, make sure you have lit up the lantern with the blue flame just north of this, so you do not have to reach the ancient observatory and come back. First, you have to sprint to the north lantern and then light up a normal arrow with the blue flame and shoot the final lantern with the bow. The ancient bow is the most accurate and will require less time to aim. These are the timings and the rewards for them. Each time you play, it will get increasingly harder till 20 seconds is the time requirement. Some ways to get a faster time would be to eat food that gives you a movement boost, or to use a horse. Also, to reset the minigame, use a choo-choo jelly and hit it to put out the blue flame, or just use an ice arrow. This can be quite a profitable minigame, although it is not very fun, but it will cost 20 rupees to play. This minigame is only available once you've completed the Undefeated Champion Shrine Quest and the Divine Beast Varnaboris. Speak to Shabone at the Sandseal Rally area, just south of Gerudo Town. The race will begin once you have paid the entry fee of 100 rupees. The goal is to reach the finish line in under a minute and a half while passing under all the arc checkpoints. Make sure to dash when your seal slows down and make smooth turns. You will be rewarded with a gold rupee every time the race is finished under the 1 minute and 30 seconds time requirement. Overall, you will gain 200 rupees every 1 minute and 30 seconds if done well. During the parts when the rocks fall down on the course, just move closer to the sides to avoid them. Speak to Selmy in a wooden cabin known as Selmy Spot at the top of Hero Mountain. She will invite you to take part in a shield surfing challenge if you pay an entry fee of 20 rupees. The first time speaking to her, you have to do the beginner course, which is fairly easy and is just a straight line down the hill. You must finish this in under 1 minute to proceed onto the advanced course. Once you have done this, when she asks you what shield surfing means to you, make sure to shrug, otherwise she'll make you redo the beginner course. There are 2 ways to do the advanced course, one of them doing it normally and shield surfing the whole way. And the slight Sheik way where you slide down to the left and paraglide straight to the flag. Here are the possible rewards and timings required. The kite shield is unique and can only be collected once, and here only, so make sure not to break it. Overall, it is not a profitable minigame, however it is enjoyable and does offer good rewards early game. You can find and play this minigame at Pondo's Lodge, just below and northeast of Hebra Tower. Speak to Pondo to get started, and once ready, the goal is to knock over 10 of the pins at the bottom of the hill, with a snowball at the top. If you knock over all the pins on the first go, you will score a strike. If it takes you 2 tries, you will score a spare. Each game costs 20 rupees. On the first time ever scoring a strike, you'll get a blizzard rod. All other strikes will reward you with a gold rupee. A spare will give you a silver rupee, 9 pins will give you a purple rupee, and 8 pins will reward you with a red rupee. There are 2 methods to try and score. One of them is to just throw the snowball down at the hill. A good spot would be dropping it on the right bump, although other strategies work. Another method would be to just stasis the snowball and hit it 5 times with a one-handed weapon. If aimed well, it will be a guaranteed strike. This is quite a lucrative minigame, and I recommend this minigame if you are trying to quickly get money. This minigame becomes available after you complete the Gut Check Challenge Shrine Quest. Walk to the Gore Tor Shrine, north of Death Mountain, and speak to Bage to begin. The entry fee is 100 rupees, and the goal is to climb to the top of the peak, collecting at least 300 rupees before reaching the top. To make this easier, I recommend having a maxed out stamina wheel with stamina recovery elixirs and food for backup, as well as getting either the climbing set, which boosts climbing speed, or the Royal Guards gear, which lets you save stamina when jumping up. Movement boost foods also help as well. Generally speaking, avoid the green rupees and purely focus on the high level rupees. One strategy would just be jump vertically till you reach 1 silver rupee, and then head diagonally right up to collect another one, and then right to collect another silver rupee. Another strategy would be to travel across the pillar by 90 degrees and make your way up to the middle to find a gold rupee. However, if you just want to do the normal gut check challenge, follow the main path and do not switch to the left climbing path. One thing to remember is that the super minigame is different to the shrine quest or normal challenge, as the layout of rupees are not the same. Although it takes longer and requires more stamina, it is much more simple and requires less thinking. Once reaching the top, you can keep the money collected if it is above 300 rupees, and it is very profitable, with a net profit of 200 plus rupees depending on the amount collected. This minigame becomes available after you've completed the Test of Wood Shrine quest. Speak to Damia again at the eastern exit of Korok Forest. The goal is to reach the shrine again, using only the weapons given to the Korok, without breaking any of them in under 5 minutes. The trick is to use any fire-induced updraft to get ahead. Even Rivali's Gale will work. The final bog can be skipped with the use of fire choo-choos as well as Cryonis, although the latter is slower. It will cost 10 rupees to enter if you already have all of the Korok gear. If not, it will cost 20 rupees and the weapons will be given to you. The final reward is a silver rupee, but it takes 1 minute to reach the shrine if you don't fall into the bog at the end. If you have made it this far, please subscribe to my channel to help boost my channel and be notified for any new uploads. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.